But our top story tonight, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his address to the nation this afternoon, announced the extension of a free ration scheme for the poor till the end of November. Under the scheme, all members of a family will get 5 kg wheat or rice every month. Additionally, every family will get 1 kg of chana per month free of cost. All of this, of course, comes before the Bihar elections that are to be held in October, November. So the big question, has the Prime Minister one eye on the elections? Is he simply recasting his image as a pro-poor leader in Corona times? It's our top story tonight.
गरीब कोई गरीब कल्याण गरीबों के लिए 20 करोड़ गरीब किसानों के भारत में
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address to the nation, the 6th since the COVID crisis began, had one big focus. The PM left no one in doubt who his target audience was as he hammered his solidarity with the poor again and again. The speech that lasted 16 minutes mentioned the poor 13 times and the farmer 5 times. The Prime Minister announced the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, the free ration scheme, which will be extended till November end.
ये फैसला लिया गया है कि प्रधानमंत्री गरीब कल्याण अन्न योजना का विस्तार अब दिवाली और छठ पूजा तक यानी नवंबर महीने के आखिर तक कर दिया जाएगा.
What didn't go unnoticed was Prime Minister's stress on Chhath Puja, the most important festival of Bihar. Incidentally, Bihar goes to polls later this year. The Prime Minister's address comes at a time when rising fuel prices and the exodus of migrant workers from cities have taken the sheen of Modi's pro-poor image. The opposition slammed the Prime Minister on many counts.
He did not spell out on anything on how government intends to tackle the rising number of COVID cases, not a word on how the economy will be revived. People have no jobs. Those having jobs have lesser salaries than before. The labor issues are hurting the economic activities. Labor have returned to villages with no work there. A few of them are coming back again and there are no jobs in the cities.
MIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi pointed out that Modi had missed the festival of Bakrid, which falls a month later. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee claimed her government had already extended the free ration scheme.
আমরা আগামী সেপ্টেম্বর পর্যন্ত ইতিমধ্যে আমাদের অ্যানাউন্স করা আছে যে আমাদের এই 3 মাস আমরা 5 কেজি করে দিয়েছি চাল আর এই 3 মাস আমরা চাল এবং আটা দুটোই দেব কারণ অনেকে আছে অনেকে আবার আটা খেতেও পছন্দ করে আর ওনারা নভেম্বর পর্যন্ত করেছেন তো আমি এটা আগামী বছর জুন মাস পর্যন্ত বাড়িয়ে দিলাম ফ্রি রেশন.
The Prime Minister's address largely focused on the poor hit by the COVID crisis, which has crippled economic activity. But is his pro-poor image still intact? As Bihar heads to polls, is the big question. This is Anand Patel in New Delhi for India Today.
Right at the top tonight, let's raise the big questions. Is Prime Minister Modi trying to revive his pro-poor image? Is that the main focus? Is Garib Kisan still a winning card for Prime Minister Modi? Did the Prime Minister's address meet the expectations that had been set? Just some of the questions that we'll raise tonight. Gaurav Bhatia, the spokesperson of the BJP, Gaurav Vallabh, spokesperson Congress, the two Gauravs are taking each other on. Gaurav Bhatia, let me come to you straight. What was the purpose of this 16-minute address at the end of the day? Because if the Prime Minister's address was about the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, that could have been done by a PIB press release. Why did it require the Prime Minister to front a statement like this? What was the necessity?
Rajdeep, I think this is the problem with the opposition and many of the journalists also, who at times question that why is it that the Prime Minister is not speaking. And when the Prime Minister comes out to address the nation to reassure, to secure the future of the farmers and the poor, There are many journalists who come out and say this could have been done by the spokesperson of the PIB. And I am proud of the fact as an Indian that he said Garib, 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 Garib. So that shows the focus on Garib. Rahul Gandhi ought to be saying Cheen ke Garib, Cheen ke Garib, Cheen ke Garib, Cheen ke Garib. And you know why? Why am I saying this? But look at the hypocrisy in the Congress. They say something else. And in the Congress ruled states, they do something diametrically opposite. Why do I say that? I will tell you. Today is the day when my friend Gaurav Vallabh should proudly tell the entire country that Sonia Gandhi had made an infamous announcement that all migrant laborers who take the train, the Shramik Express, the Congress state units will pay for the fare. How much have they paid in all the states? And every state in India has a Congress unit. One. Two, I would say the emphasis is on poor, on the farmers. And I think the very fact that
Where
the
is
Prime
the
Minister
where
has
is the
reassured-
emphasis? Where is the emphasis, Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, when diesel prices cross 80 rupees? It's the farmer
We'll
who's
come to
hurting.
the-
No, 1 minute. Mr. Gaurav Bhatia,
Rajiv,
where is the
Rajiv,
emphasis on the poor when they are losing jobs
Yes.
and migrants are forced to go back home?
Okay.
Suddenly we have remembered the poor because Bihar elections are coming in October, November.
Rajdeep, it's a little strange. I see you on fire even without petrol and diesel being discussed. You raised a very important question. I was trying to answer that. The emphasis of the Prime Minister and the central government on the poor, the migrant laborers, the farmers, and you suddenly turned the topic to petrol and diesel.
No.
So let us not change the topic again. I will discuss petrol and diesel with you, and let's see who will burn faster.
Okay, let me.
So
I
yes,
asked you a simple
I'm
question
responding.
whether this
I
was
am
what was
responding.
this. I asked you a simple question, sir. What was this speech about? Was this speech about reassuring the poor that the Prime Minister stands by them through difficult times? Am I correct?
This speech, let me now phrase it my way. This speech was first about telling the entire country that we will win in the fight against COVID, because he spoke about containment zones.
Okay.
Then he spoke about the poor families who were worried whether they would continue to get free ration or not. He assured them that yes, the central government will ensure and will strengthen them by providing them free ration. This speech was also about the farmers, where he told that 9 crore farmers in the country have been given 18,000 crore rupees so far.
Okay,
This
so
speech
he's
was
pressed.
also about
So
the
he's
Jan Dhan
pressed all the
accounts,
buttons.
where money was directly
Okay,
transferred
you
to the
made the
citizens'
point.
account.
So you don't have to reiterate what the Prime Minister said. I wanted his main
Why not?
message.
I'm
I
very
wanted the
proud
main
of it.
message. You're saying his
I'm
main
not
message
saying
is that he has addressed the.
Cheen ke kareeb 90 lakh rupees diye
Okay.
Chinese government ne.
Okay, he
पूछिए
spoke about the.
उनसे.
Okay, let's not bring down the level,
spoke
sir.
about Garib,
Let Gaurav
not
Vallabh now
Cheen ke
respond.
Garib.
Let Gaurav Vallabh now respond. He deserves
Absolutely.
equal right, and please do not intervene when he
No,
speaks.
no, he deserves
Yeah.
even more. He
Gaurav
deserves
Vallabh
more
respond.
than me, especially on
Let's be
your
very clear,
program.
Mr. Gaurav Vallabh. What the Prime Minister has said is unacceptable. He has extended the scheme of free rice or wheat to 80 crore people for the next 5 months. No one can have any objection, including your party, surely to that, because your party has been asking for that for weeks.
Rajdeep, on 22nd of April, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi ji wrote a letter to PM to extend this scheme, and I thank the Prime Minister for doing that. But you are asking pro-poor image. What happened to pro-poor image, Rajdeep, on 24th of March, when by giving 4 hours notice, you had announced the lockdown? What happened to 27th of March, when the laborers were asked to stay where they are? What happened to the 29th of April, when they were asked to go only by bus, and the shameless Bihar government said, we are bebas? What happened to the 2nd of May, when they were asked to go by train, and then central government is asking to pay the rail fare plus 50 rupees of additional special charges? What happened to the central government pro-poor image, when they are asking the Mazdoors to pay 85% to central government, 15% to state government? What happened to pro-poor image? See, there are two types of poor people we can broadly segregate. One is labor, another is farmer. For farmers, what Prime Minister had done today? I am asking a simple question. What is the statement of the Prime Minister today for farmers when you are talking about
Gaurav Vallabh, you might
talk about
Gaurav Vallabh, the Prime Minister will claim that even in the last week of March, when he first made an address to the nation, he had addressed the farmers' concerns. He had ensured that every farmer will get a certain sum of money, 500 rupees, if I'm not mistaken, was the money at the time.
No, even in today's...
No, 1 minute. 1 minute now, Gaurav Bhatia. Let me ask Gaurav Vallabh the question. Gaurav Vallabh, the fact is that the Prime Minister will claim that that the farmers' concerns were met at the very initial stage, and then when the 20 lakh crore so-called package was put in place, the farmers were also being addressed.
My simple question, Rajdeep, if you can get this response today, I will be highly obliged. After COVID pandemic hit our country, what is the additional package announced for farmers? And you will be surprised to know, Rajdeep, it is zero. There is nothing additional. And again, beating the drum, announcing the PM Kisan scheme, which was announced 2 years back. Again and again, saying that 500 rupees per month we are transferring to Women Jan Dhan account. That is not going to serve the purpose. हाँ उल्ला करने से काम नहीं होता. हाँ उल्ला कितना किया राजदीप, जैसे कोई एलियन मिल गया हो और काउंटडाउन चालू कर दिया 10, 9, as if Prime Minister is not coming. So we had found some alien on this one. Arey, come out of this thing, do something concrete for the poor people, and don't try to always link politics and the development agenda. I know everybody knows there is a Bihar election. छठी मैया याद क्यों नहीं आई जब 7,500 रुपए प्रति माह लोगों के खातों में डालने थे? जब छठी मैया याद क्यों नहीं आई? छठी मैया उस दिन याद क्यों नहीं आई जब डीजल प्राइसेस 11.5 रुपए आपने बढ़ा दिए? आए थे रुपये को डॉलर से आगे करने और कर दिया डीजल को पेट्रोल से आगे. बार बार छठी मैया का श्राप लग जाएगा, ध्यान रखना.
let him respond now. Gaurav versus Gaurav. Let's observe decorum and ensure that each one gets equal time. Gaurav Bhatia, respond. According to the Congress, many of the schemes that have been announced today have been in fact schemes that owe its origin during the UPA times to the Food Security Act, which was at that time criticized by the BJP. Today you are relying on it. Number two, according to the Congress, this doesn't really benefit the people. They would like to see direct cash handouts, 7,500 rupees per family to the 50% of India's poorest families, about 13 crore families or 65 crore Indians. That's what the Congress would like to see. Your response?
You know, Rajdeep, let's not forget, this is what poor Congress economics is all about. During the UPA 1 and 2 era, the inflation was at 10-11%. The fiscal deficit was touching around 4.5%. On one hand, they say, please do not increase the prices and the VAT on petrol and diesel. On the other hand, they say that please give 7,500 to every poor family. And yes, we have done a lot. I can proudly say that the package after the COVID pandemic equals to around 21,70,000 crore. Now, the Congress rule states have an annual budget of 10 lakh crore. Can I ask Mr. Gaurav Vallabh, since he didn't answer my first question on the Shramik trains, how much package has the Congress rule states so far announced? And the answer is zilch. Zilch means zero. Second, you know, there was a time when Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister and he was asked about, you know, providing succor and relief to the middleman and the poor. You know what he said? पैसा जो है ना पेड़ पे नहीं उगता है, पैसा पेड़ पे नहीं उगता है.
Sir,
have you ever seen that kind of insensitivity from Narendra Modi ji? From the time we are fighting COVID, every week you see a major announcement, be it for the migrant laborers, farmers, for the poor. And this is the way our sensitive government is responding.
Let Gaurav Vallabh respond now.
No, give me 30 more seconds.
No, you made your point. Let him now respond.
30 more seconds. Don't get nervous. 30 more seconds.
I never get nervous, sir. I have a lot of time. I'm in COVID times. I have a lot of time. I'm very relaxed. Don't worry.
May I, Rajdeep, may I?
No, 1 minute, Gaurav Vallabh. He wants to complete. Let Gaurav Bhatia complete. Yes, Mr. Bhatia, complete.
Okay. Thank you, Rajdeep. You are very, very generous.
No, I'm fine.
Yes, I have a question for my friend Gaurav Vallabh.
Yes.
Gaurav Vallabh ji, Rahul Gandhi se पूछ के ही चाहे बताइएगा, but do tell me, when you talk about the common man, why is it that in Maharashtra, VAT has been increased on 31st of May 2020 on petroleum products. Punjab on 15th June. Rajasthan has increased VAT also on petroleum products, Rajiv. And also they've imposed a cess on farmers on agricultural produce. So, if you talk about farmers and about the common man, don't have this duplicity.
Okay, let him
Have
now
a
respond.
uniform policy.
Now Gaurav Bhatia,
Thank
let
you.
him respond. Gaurav Ballabh, the fact is the Congress states could just as easily perhaps have reduced some of the taxes they've imposed on fuel. If you want to prove the point that you are pro-poor and they are not, maybe you could have even gone to the extent of trying to implement some of the Nyay projects for your states. All of this could be done by the Congress to show that you are genuinely pro-poor and the BJP is not.
Rajdeep, on record, I am saying something. What are the name of the states which are having the highest VAT on petroleum products? It is Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Karnataka. He is not aware because he is a disinformed guy.
Oh, come on,
Second
answer
thing,
my
he
No,
said-
one minute now. Gaurav Bhatia, no
Please, I have
intervening.
not interrupted. No interest. Then he talked about insensitivity. Oil minister of our country, and I am reading his statement that oil price hike didn't hit common man. Is he referring common man as Arvind Kejriwal, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of the BJP, or common man as the people like you, me, or the farmers or the laborers of this country? This is called as insensitive remark. Then he talked about 21 lakh crore package. I am not saying Morgan Stanley
70,000
and all the international rating agencies are saying the truth of 21 lakh crore is 1.4 lakh crore. I don't make lies. I don't make fake statements on TV channels. Fourth point, you are saying why Congress ruled states are not doing that thing. Rajdeep, on record, I am saying Chhattisgarh was the first state who had implemented Nyay scheme for the farmers. On record, I am saying Rajasthan was the first state who had transferred 2,500 rupees to each labor's account, direct cash transfer. On record, I am saying Jharkhand was the first state who carried their laborers by charter flight. They had not said कि हमारे पास बस नहीं है, हम बेबस है. झारखंड ने ऐसा नहीं कहा, उन्होंने हवाई जहाज करके लेबर्स को वहां लेके आए. Now I am asking, he is asking how much we had incurred as a cost. I am asking 21 lakh crore का खर्चा का मैंने हिसाब बताया. बताओ यहाँ पे आके कि saying on TV and shouting is not going to make any purpose.
Okay,
My question, let me conclude, Rajiv. I had asked a simple question at the beginning that after COVID pandemic, how much you had allocated for the farmers, for the laborers additionally. I am asking this question. Please get me response to this.
Okay, you want a response to that? You want to respond specifically to that, Gaurav Bhatia, because the Prime Minister claimed that 20 crore beneficiaries of Jan Dhan, 20 crore Jan Dhan accounts have benefited since COVID. Do you want to be more specific?
I will be.
He's directly
Rajiv,
challenging you.
Yes, I will. Please allow me.
Yes.
First of all, you never got any answers regarding Shramik trains fare being taken care by the Congress state units. You did not get answer why, Rajasthan and other governments of
Sir,
the Congress
could the Prime
are
Minister's
increasing
could
the
the funds that have gone into the Prime Minister care have been used for the Shramik trains? I want to understand. I want to understand today. You are making the Shramik trains an issue. This is an issue which should be settled 85% center, 15% state. I thought that's the way the divide was to take place.
You are, Rajdeep, now may I come in and not being,
But answer his question. How much money has been given after COVID to the farmer? He's asking that question.
Show me the same respect that you are showing to Gaurav Ballabh.
I am asking you the question that he's asking. You're not answering his question.
I will answer. Please, I will answer. First of all, 85-15 formula is the right formula, as you said. But you remember Sonia Gandhi coming out and saying, we will pay for the fare from the state units of Congress will pay. You've forgotten that. But it's okay. I rest it there. Now I will come to your question. From the PM Care Fund, Rajdeep, 2,000 crore was utilized for 50,000 ventilators, 1,000 crore for migrant laborers. This is the number. It's not like Prime Minister Relief Fund of the Congress government paying to the Rajiv Gandhi Foundation. Now my third. Please, Gaurav Ballabh, pay attention to these numbers. Mumbai, Maharashtra, where you are in power, petrol price today is 87. Jaipur, 87.57. Ahmedabad, it's 77.91 and Gurgaon 78.64. That is why I was saying, if you really care about the common man, the middle class, please reduce the VAT. Now, last, you were talking about Prime Minister taking effective steps. Let me tell you, the farmers of the country, 9 crore of them have received 18,000 crore in their account in the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Nidhi. And this was preponed, seeing the COVID pandemic. Second, you rightly talked about the 20 crore Jandan accounts, which have received 31,000 crore in their accounts. So it clearly reflects, and there are other measures also like 80 crore.
Can I ask both of you one?
Free ration.
Can I ask both of you one final question?
Taken by the central
Gaurav
government.
Bhatia, the two Gauravs, one final question and keep it short. Isn't it true that we are now looking at not just COVID, but also looking at the Bihar elections? Mr. Modi is a politician, Gaurav Ballabh. His one eye is on the elections. What's wrong if he is using this platform to perhaps reach out to the Bihari voter and say, look, I'm there for you?
There is nothing wrong. He had tried this by doing Litti Chokha before the COVID and lockdown announcement. And because of that Litti Chokha drama which he had done in the Hunar Haat in Delhi, the lockdown got extended. So my primary question, he is having all right to do drama, but do some substance also. I asked one question from the beginning, which I had not received any answer. What is the additional money allocated to farmers and laborers post-COVID by Government of India? No answer. He is giving PM Kisan's data to me. He is giving me 31,000 crore. Rajdeep, you will be surprised. That is the sensitivity of the government for the labor class. They are saying 500 रुपये महीने के लो और अपना खर्चा चलाओ. Is this the way? Is this the way we can survive? When the inflation rate in the country is 8% as per RBI records, they are giving 500 rupees per person to survive. Is this the way we can survive? This is called.
Can I therefore ask you,
He's asking me a
Gaurav
question.
Bhatia?
I am responding to that. Just.
No, can I
Gaurav
now
Bhatia,
comment?
in conclusion, I just want to therefore ask you, is this about the Bihar elections at one level? Nothing wrong. The Prime Minister, a politician, he's a consummate politician. That's what he does. Therefore, he specifically mentioned Chhath Puja. He mentioned Chhath Puja, for example, specifically on more than one occasion, because that is timed with the Bihar elections. Would you admit that to some extent, the Prime Minister wants to ensure that his Garib Kisan vote is intact?
Okay,
This question.
the Congress party, the farmers or the poor might be vote bank, just like the Muslim vote bank. For Narendra Modi ji, this is not about the elections. Elections will come and go. You have to actually win the hearts of every Indian. And that is what Narendra Modi ji has been doing. There are many who try to bring him down, but they fail. And nobody knows it better than you, Rajdeep. One last thing I would like to say, Rajdeep, please don't interrupt. Yes, Rajdeep, in the end, I would only say this country is going higher and it is becoming stronger.
My question is,
It's going,
additional
just a minute,
quantity
Mr.
of
Ballabh. No,
Kisan
Gaurav Ballabh, just a minute. Because the fact is, you're saying this country is going higher. We have 3 wars being fought at the
And
moment. There's a
stronger.
Corona war, there's a China war, there's an economy war.
And the Congress
None
corruption
of these
war,
3
there is
major issues were addressed today by the Prime Minister. Neither did he squarely address the Corona challenge. He didn't address the China challenge, was completely silent, and didn't address the deepening economic challenge. Apart
Okay.
from a
So I will
handout on the
quickly
Garib
answer that.
Kisan
I will
Kalyan Yojana,
quickly
which is
answer that.
election driven,
Quickly
why did he
answer
need to
that,
do this
yeah.
speech?
Please quickly answer that. For China, when Narendra Modi ji has specifically said that every inch of Indian territory is safe, do you need another response? Second, on Corona, compare the numbers of India with the population size that we have with any other country, and he spoke about it also,
Right.
comparing the US and the UK to our country also. On the economic front also, there has been a stimulus that has been given by the economic package
I
announced
want
by
to
the
respond,
finance minister of the country. I think in 16 minutes, you cannot elaborate on every aspect, but yes,
Okay,
it was
so
an
you're-
address that reassured the nation
Gaurav
and
Ballabh-
it made them feel
Gaurav
that there
Ballabh,
is a
I will
Prime
give you
Minister who
30
cares
seconds
for them.
because I'm running out of time. 30 seconds, one final point.
Rajdeep, 16 minutes was not the period time. We can increase that. In Corona, we had reached 5,70,000 and we are not testing the cases. That is the issue. People should understand. And as far as the economy is concerned, we are at the unemployment rate of 23%. which was 2% in the year 2011. That is the difference. No, nothing was addressed. Middle class is losing the job. Farmers' input cost is going up. Laborers are not having the job. Manrega workers are not getting the work, and they are saying
Did you
we
get
will,
any
we will
answers
address
Let me-
the problems in 16 minutes.
Okay.
This is gone.
Okay, we've heard-
They are not
I-
having any answer to my
Okay,
question.
you both of you have had your 16 minutes. The Prime Minister had his. You've both given us and decoded where you believe the Prime Minister's message was right or wrong. We'll now leave it to the viewers to judge. The two Gauravs, thank you very much for joining me here
Thank you.
on the news today. Let's turn to the other big story today. The government ban on 59 Chinese apps, including TikTok, citing security and sovereignty of the nation, has sparked off a controversy. Remember, these apps are used by millions of users across India, and now the banned apps will no longer be available on Google Play. China has responded angrily. It's our other big story today.
मेरी तुम्हें मेरा साला और पूरी इंडिया में बेटा फैला मेरा जला और
బాహుబలి అను నేను
मारेंगे 10 गिनेंगे 1
India shutting the doors on popular Chinese apps. 59 Chinese apps like TikTok, ShareIt, WeChat, Shein, Cam Scanner, UC Browser blocked by Center. For threatening sovereignty and security of India and concerns over data security and privacy, accusing the apps of compromising user data and sharing it with foreign players. Apps like TikTok vanished from Google Play Store in India hours after the ban. Chinese Foreign Ministry said it is strongly concerned and verifying the situation. TikTok, in a clarification, denied breaching privacy law and leaking user info. It said that it will meet government officials for talks. The familiar faces on TikTok are happy with the government move, saying while they will be hit, the move is in India's interest.
People वो बॉयकॉटिंग चाइनीज प्रोडक्ट्स और नहीं यूज करे तो एक दो जन करने से फर्क पड़ता है, बट ये सब चीजों को जड़ से निकालना बहुत जरूरी था और ये हमारे गवर्नमेंट के हाथ में था. तो हमारे गवर्नमेंट ने इसको बैन करके बहुत ही अच्छा स्टेप लिया है एंड आई टोटली स्टैंड बाय इट.
अपनी गवर्नमेंट ने जो भी फैसला लिया है कुछ ना कुछ तो अपने लिए हित के लिए भी लिया होगा, इसलिए सहमत भी हूँ और दुख भी है.
Several cybersecurity experts also welcomed the crackdown, but stressed on developing an Indian tech ecosystem.
Most of the Indian users of these Chinese apps do not really comprehend that this data of theirs is constantly getting collected and is being sent to China. And once it reaches China, it can be accessed by the government there. It can be analyzed using big data and artificial intelligence.
In terms of revenue share, India accounted for just 43.7 crore rupees in 2018 to 2019, compared with a worldwide revenue of $17 billion. But for TikTok, India was a market for the future. With nearly 12 crore active users in India, it was targeting 100 crore in revenue by second quarter of this fiscal. Now the ban means it loses a huge market which provided around 30% of its user base and massive growth potential. With Aishwarya Paliwal, Bureau Report, India Today.
And joining me now to understand just whether this ban will have the necessary impact on China, will it really hurt China? Joining me now, Nikhil Pawar, digital rights activist. Arvind Gupta is head of the Digital India Foundation and former CEO of MyGov.in, which is linked to the government. Naveen Tiwari, founder and CEO InMobi, which hopes to compete with TikTok. And Puneet Bhasin is cyber law expert. Appreciate all of you joining us. Let me come to you, Arvind Gupta, first, because as head of the Digital India Foundation, someone with MyGov.in, close to the Modi government, you tell us, what objective message do you believe has been sent out by banning these 59 apps, especially TikTok? Do you really believe that this will have an impact on China?
So I could not hear the question very clearly, Rajdeep. There is a lot of echo, but I will respond on this issue of the Chinese apps being banned and what really is the danger and why it has been banned. So the now in this fourth industrial revolution.
Let me try and get back to you, Arvind. We are having a problem with your line. I'll try and get back to you in a moment. Why don't you take that Nikhil Pahwa? Do you believe that this ban will have any effect, or is it simply a knee-jerk reaction that's been taken by the government of India?
Rajdeep, I don't think it's a knee-jerk reaction. There seems to be an escalation that's been taking place. If you remember, about a month ago, India had put investments from China under a government route for investing, in the sense Chinese investors needed to take government permission to invest in India. That wasn't looked at very, China, the Chinese embassy had issued a statement at that point in time. Secondly, I think just about 4 days ago, India Today had reported also that government sources are saying that there's been an increase in Chinese cyber attacks on Indian sites. So there is a response now. Whether this response in terms of blocking these 59 apps is proportionate or not, one really can't say.
No, what's your view? What's your view? What's your view to link honestly, TikTok to security and privacy concerns? Is that right or wrong?
So I remember during the Doklam standoff at that point in time, there was in the tech policy circles, there was a sense of the Indian government's worried that UC News, which is owned by UC Browser and one of the apps that has been banned, was prioritizing the Chinese version of events and deprioritizing Indian news reports. So, these are that kind of information warfare, misinformation, disinformation that is possible, especially on apps that have a large number of users now.
Right.
Is banning all the users a solution? Is banning the app itself a solution? I think there's information asymmetry here. The government may know something that we don't. Unless there's clarity and transparency from the government as to what the specific danger was with respect to each of these apps,
right,
we really can't say. Is there a data related to Indian users' data being collected? Well, that problem's been there for 2-3 years now. So, I don't see banning now as a solution to a problem that's been there for the last few years. And many other apps also collect this data. So why now? Why these specific apps? This is more of a political response to a situation on the ground, as saying that, look, we are doing this.
Let me get Arvind Gupta to respond to that. Is this a political response, Arvind Gupta, to the situation on the ground? That this is not about TikTok or its popularity, this is about sending a message to Beijing.
Rajdeep, I have not been able to hear what Mr. Pahwa has said. And the technical problem persists.
Go ahead. Can you hear me?
I can hear you barely, but I think we are facing a technical connectivity issue. But what I could hear from Nikhil...
No, let me ask you the question again. Let me ask you the question loud and clear. Is the banning of TikTok and 59 apps sending out a political message? It's about political messaging.
Well, Rajdeep, on your show, you will associate everything with political messaging, but this has got to be with a larger issue of the data and digital ecosystem that China has been building and integrating into India. You have to treat this, every app that has been banned could have backdoor malicious intent, and every smartphone could be turned into a cyber agent, not reporting to India, but reporting to a foreign power. So I think the clear intent is to save potentially a lot of citizens from cyber attacks, from misinformation, and
no, Arvind, Mr. Gupta, I take that. I want to know, but why now? All of this has been known for a long time. All of this has been known. The fact has been known that TikTok is owned by the Chinese. The fact has been known that over years there have been concerns expressed over privacy and security when it comes to certain Chinese apps. I want to understand why now. It is linked directly to what's happening in Ladakh. Why not accept that? This is India's way of sending a message to Beijing.
Well, Rajdeep, why now means this is not a first time China has or Chinese apps have infringed on a lot of privacy and national security issues. They've been warned many times in the past. Now it becomes even more critical. And I think, you've seen the last 2 weeks, a lot of cyber attacks originating from that region coming into India, into Australia, into Singapore. So I think it's a very good measure to make sure that we at a country are not risking our cyber systems, our consumers, their data, and their minds can be influenced by the Chinese misinformation campaign.
I take your point. I think there you make a very strong point that you believe that this has now
You have
reached
to
a
remember,
point
India has
where a
followed
message
this. We
needed to
have
be
followed-
sent out.
We have followed due process before, and we will follow due process after that, unlike China. So I think
Okay,
the
Naveen Tiwari, you want
foul,
as founder and
showed the
CEO,
door to Uber
as
Google
founder
in
and CEO of InMobi, do you want to respond, Naveen Tiwari? Do you believe Indian companies can actually take on the Chinese in a level playing field? Have the Chinese had an unfair advantage, and therefore the banning to some extent will give Indian companies a chance to compete with the Chinese in this very, very lucrative mobile app market?
I think we should look at these 2 points independently. I think banning of the apps is for the reasons that was just discussed for the last 5 minutes. And in addition to that, I think the banning of the apps is also because the cultural notion of our country was really hampered with the kind of content that we were being shown, and that's just against the ethos of the country. And I think though that debate with a lot of these apps was going on by the government for the last 1 to 2 years. I think there is one aspect of why they were banned. I think the other aspect of this is what does that mean for the entrepreneurial community or the digital entrepreneurs in the country. I think what this just does is creates a huge vacuum in the market. There was unfair advantage of a lot of the apps that come from countries where the GDP per capita is significantly higher than India's GDP per capita. And in internet businesses, by the way, the network effect models are such that once you are into the market, you will take on 80% of the business even before anyone else has a chance to fight. So if you have applications that are doing unfair things, not on the level playing field, by collecting data and having algorithms that are essentially imparting content which is against the ethos of the country, then this had to change.
No, but was the content of TikTok, let's be clear, Naveen Tiwari, the content of TikTok, was that the problem, or is the fact that it's Chinese owned? Let's be clear. This is an app which has had 610 million downloads. People of India appreciate the content. At the end of the day, the consumer is king. They like the content of TikTok. They don't care whether it's a Chinese company.
If we are running a television, for example, you run a television network, you are bound by certain guidelines that are defined by the country in order to essentially show content that is acceptable. When it comes to the internet world, the acceptability and the laws and the rules are not that strongly adhered. And even before things become large, they are much bigger, and therefore they start to become seen like the truth. And I don't think that should be the case. If you are if you are in our land, and you have to essentially perform on the guidelines of our land, and therefore content might be accepted, but if it's not against the ethos of what we like, then it's not correct.
So
and
the
that
question
goes on
is,
for many such things.
so the question is, do we have a strong, no, just a minute, do we have a strong legal case, Puneet Bhasin? You're a cyber law expert. You tell us, do we have a legal case today against TikTok and say that they violated Indian rules? Can we say that? They are insisting that they will ensure full privacy, they will ensure full security of their data. None of it is being passed on to Beijing.
That is exactly why today there's an interim order which is passed, which has banned TikTok. So they will need to present their case at this point of time to the central government and actually show that they have been fully compliant. Because definitely there have been allegations about this, and honestly, it's a known fact that state threat actors exist in cyberspace. So it's not just one country that we are looking at. Large number of state threat actors are the ones which have the best resources, best sophistication, best attackers. But we have never really looked in that direction to take action. So we did come out with the data protection bill. It was to be passed, and ideally it should have happened. But with the COVID wave starting, a lot of things got prolonged.
No, but on
And
what
today,
basis?
suddenly, when
I'm
we are
trying to
facing those
understand.
attacks.
I'm trying to understand, Puneet Bhasin, on what basis can we ban TikTok? What will we do? We have to prove.
We can actually go about taking a ban on the grounds of national integrity, sovereignty, data protection. So where the nation feels there's a threat to anything which is integral to our nation, they can actually go about doing. So where they feel there's a threat to national sovereignty, integrity, or even under any other provisions, wherein let's say there's decency of women which is being violated or anything of this nature, they can actually take a ban on apps. They have done it even for porn websites before. So the same thing can be done, and definitely it's an interim order. So TikTok will have to present its case very well.
Right.
And upon presenting the case that they have been compliant, what are the compliances? Like we have a huge plethora of compliances under Indian law also. So if they're able to demonstrate that compliance, then definitely the ban may get lifted off. So it's all in the hands of TikTok now to demonstrate.
But at the end of the day, there's also the angle that it is Chinese owned, and there are Chinese billionaires who want to invest even more in India's lucrative markets. I want to understand from you, Arvind Gupta, there's an element of hypocrisy. During the 2019 elections, political parties used TikTok. We are told mygov.in, which is linked to Prime Minister Modi, has used TikTok at various times. Suddenly, the same TikTok, which was used effectively during elections as a Chinese company, is being seen that we must ban it because it violates security and privacy. I think Mr. Gupta is struggling to listen to us, but you want to take that, Nikhil Pahwa? Is there an example of hypocrisy in the way we are looking at this entire issue? For months, everybody was watching TikTok. 610 million downloads. Now the company becomes a company which we believe is Chinese owned. We suddenly remember it.
Rajdeep, it's been going on for over a year. In fact, last year around July, almost a year ago, there was a debate in Parliament where MPs raised the issue of TikTok collecting a lot of data. Look, there are norms that need to be followed where there's adequacy of data collection, where there are certain privacy provisions in place where governments can't direct companies to act in their nation's interest against other countries. So look, Chinese companies are inherently, they can be called upon by the Chinese government to be essentially an extension of the state. And so that risk always remains in India. And as long as China's laws don't get fixed, as long as China, does not use its own companies against other countries, I don't think we can always trust Chinese companies. Honestly.
No, I take your point. No, I take your point that we can't trust Chinese companies, but the fact is, the fact is whether it's a Paytm. No, 1 minute. Then where do you stop? Tomorrow Paytm is a company which has a large Chinese investment. Will we say that we will not take Paytm? Every Indian is using it happily. Let's be very clear. There is a deep underlying hypocrisy here.
Rajdeep, can the Indian state control Paytm? Is there not a rule of? Is there a law that says that in India that Paytm will do against other countries as directed by the Indian government? That's not there, right? So in case of Chinese companies, that risk exists. I believe there are laws that enable the Chinese government to do this. So the risk is always there. Look,
Sir, my only point was the risk has existed for years. The risk has existed for years.
I'm saying these measures need to be time bound. And we hope that the standoff is going to end. Right. 1 year from now, when we should be in a situation where these restrictions don't exist anymore.
Okay. Point taken.
So
I've run out of time.
De-escalation,
yes.
Let there be a de-escalation, because what we are seeing right now is escalation on multiple fronts, both physical and cyber.
Okay.
Right?
I have one point that I want to ask Arvind Gupta, which he didn't listen, and I have 30 seconds, Arvind Gupta. Is it not true that the government of India, mygov.in, was using TikTok? Is it not true that political parties across the spectrum, Congress, BJP, used TikTok in the 2019 elections? I have documented it in my book of the exact videos that you all used. Suddenly it becomes a Chinese company. I'm just understanding the hypocrisy of this. I'm afraid that on a day when we are discussing tech issues, our technology has failed us. We're going to have to leave it there. Let's leave it there. Unfortunate though, we'll wait and see how this plays out. Whether India can actually use TikTok as some kind of a weapon that it has to put pressure on the Chinese. There are billions of dollars at stake. Revenues may be low at the moment, but eyeballs are high, and this is a future market for Chinese companies. And maybe the time had come to send the Chinese a message. Let's turn to today's good news story. It's a story of grit and determination. The story of a young girl in West Bengal's Asansol who decided to dig a well all on her own after seeing her mother travel long distances to fetch water during the lockdown. This is a story of courage. It's our good news today story.
Babita Soren from West Bengal's Asansol is an inspiration for many. Seeing her mother's daily struggle to fetch water after walking long distances, Babita decided to dig a well, all on her own. Babita, who's pursuing Bachelor of Education, despite pressure of studies, started digging the well in December.
जब मैं दिसंबर में आई थी तब मुझे पता चला घर में कि मेरी माँ गिर गई थी पानी लाने चलते। तब मैंने डिसाइड की इसके लिए कुछ करना चाहिए, तो मैंने थोड़ा सा कुआं खोद के रखे थे। उसके बाद देखा कि मेरी पढ़ाई की बहुत प्रेशर आ रही है और एग्ज़ाम भी था सर पर, तो मैं फिर हॉस्टल चली गई। उसके बाद फिर लॉकडाउन हुआ, मैं आई यहाँ पर देखी कि हमारे पानी का खर्च बहुत हो रही है, तो उसके बाद फिर मैंने वो कुआं खोदना शुरू किया।
Babita has managed to dig around 18 feet with assistance from her mother and sister. She says water will be available at a depth of 25 feet.
ये मेरी बहन जो है वो बहुत जिद्दी है। जो काम अगर बोलेगी कि मैं ये करूँगी तो मैं करके छोड़ूंगी। इतना जिद्दी थी कि बोल रहे कि मैं नहीं छोड़ेंगे, जब तक काम खत्म नहीं करेंगे तब तक नहीं छोड़ेंगे।
When the local administration learned about Babita's spirited efforts, it directed the Panchayat Samiti to complete the remaining construction of the well. Bureau Report, India Today.
The courage of a young girl or her determination to give her mother a better life. Let's leave you with our image of the day. A family out fishing spotted a bear swimming with a plastic tub stuck on its head in Wisconsin in the United States. The video shared on social media shows the family on a boat approaching the bear, removing a container from its head and watching the bear swim away from the boat. It's a nice image to leave you with. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Good night. Goodbye.